are bringing to you a very special sponsor of the WBAH podcast. That is Witch Bitch Amateur Hour. And our sponsor this week is Crafting by Rebeckie.
That's right, Crafting with Rebeckie, where spooky and colorful meet. Their Etsy store is Crafting by Rebeckie, where everything can be customized, from the colors of the hair stick to the wire they wrap with.
Their Facebook is also Crafting by Rebeckie, and it keeps you updated on all of the stuff that they're working on. So that is, once again, Crafting by Rebeckie. Thank you for sponsoring the show. Check them out. You can check them out on Facebook at Crafting by Rebeckie and Etsy as well, with the store called Crafting by Rebeckie. Dude, I have a confession to make to you.
Oh no.
I ate your cherry mash.
I forgot all about it. What did you think?
I thought it was really good. It was very rich.
Yeah.
Hunter and me split it, and we split it in 2 different sittings.
Mm-hmm.
So we each quartered it and had a quarter, and then a few hours later had another quarter each. And it is delish, but so sweet.
It's definitely an all-day treat.
Mm-hmm. But it was good. And the nuts are interesting. And at one point I was just playing with the pink filling, and I was able to shape it into things, but it doesn't stick to you. And I was I don't know what you are, but you're interesting.
See what I mean when you asked what it was? And I was like, it's a pink nougat? Question mark.
I don't know what it is. I took a bite out of it and I was just like, well,
Yeah. And definitely a natural pink color.
Yeah. Yeah. Not
very subtle.
Yeah.
No. Not jam-packed full of carmine or whatever to make it. Oh God. Ugh. I'm very red. Do you see how red I am?
I do. Do you have a literal red cast onto your face?
I do. I turn the red lights on because I don't much feel like being perceived today.
I don't know what red has to do with it, I guess is my confusion.
It's just sort of washing out my entire appearance. And it could be red, it could be blue or green. I feel like just any full light is going to kind of cast you over. And I feel like it makes me look less human. And that's what I want today. I want to not be perceived. I don't feel great.
Here's something I think that will make you feel great. And I was thinking about it today, and I wonder if you've thought about it. Have you realized that not only this year are we going to be spending Beltane together, but we're spending it at the beach in a beach house? A couple of days ago, I didn't even put it together, that we're spending, and it's our first, I want to say, not our first Sabbath that we're spending together, but definitely our first Beltane to be spent together. And we're spending it at the beach, in a beach house, and Lyra's going to be there too. And I just think it's going to be great.
This is information that I had learned because I remember pulling out the calendar and marking off the dates that we're going to be there and saying, oh, hey, look, it's Beltane. But I didn't really think about what that meant. Mm-hmm. So I think that we should definitely have some kind of beach celebratory Beltane thing. What should we do?
I don't know. I think it's tricky. So I think one thing that would be cool is I want to do some night beaching on that day.
Yes, please.
I just think for some reason that even though it's a very day holiday to me, that just seems like it makes it go some night beach activity. I think it would be cool to take a picnic basket and bring some wine and some cheese and shit out on maybe some grapes out to the beach and have that. And just being out in the sun and the beach alone, I feel like that's an activity in itself that's very suitable, I feel. I was like, I could wear a bright bathing suit, and I have none. You do. You have a very Beltane-y bathing suit. I feel like you're
forgot.
bringing.
I showed you my bathing suit. I've got a neon rainbow bathing suit, which if it's not neon rainbow, it's black, and that's my 2 modes. But
yeah, I have just jewel tones, and so none of them are super Beltane-ish, but we'll make do.
Well, you know what? Now that we know this, we can probably. I feel like I could maybe stock up on some things around the house to bring to add a little festive flair to the night beaching of Beltane.
Night beach.
The last time that we were at the beach, it was actually our Mabon episode.
Well, look at that.
We recorded our Mabon Sabbath episode at the beach, and that was, what, 2 years ago?
Yeah, 2019. 2019.
Yikes.
Yeah.
In my brain, when someone says 2019, I'm like, oh, last year.
I know. Me too. Like, and I was talking, Mom came by earlier today to get some stuff for after the party. And, we were talking about the beach house, and I was talking about the sunburn issue. So like the past couple of weeks, I think I've done 3 sessions now, and it's not very long, and I'm covering up my like chest and face and shoulders and whatnot, but I'm just getting about 15 minutes both side in the sun.
Yeah.
Just to
get a base.
And I was like, yeah, do you remember like the sunburn that I got last year? And then I was just like, oh my God, that was 2019. That was 2019.
It was on your butt.
It was. Painful.
And again, I want to say, before anybody like ats us, we're being safe. We're all...
Yeah, everybody going is vaxxed, baby.
Got the shots, baby. And,
they got the shots.
I got my cootie shot. You think that girl is hot? What are we talking about today?
I just had to remember. Is that Tucker and Dale?
Yeah, when he's digging the thing.
Oh God. Listen, I'm talking to you today about earthworms.
What?
Yeah.
What a left fielder.
Yeah, I've been thinking about earthworms a lot lately. I've been dealing with earthworms a lot lately. And they're just fucking amazing. And I'm really excited to talk about the earthworm today to you.
Well, I'm excited. I've been playing a lot of Earthworm Jim.
Have you?
No, but
nostalgia road. You did play a lot of
oh boy, did I. I'm going to talk to you today about Juniper Berries.
Hey, that's cool.
Juniper Berries.
They're pretty.
Yeah, whatever.
Is that right?
I don't know. It was one of those that I have a use for my juniper berries. I know what I use my juniper berries for, but I was like, I wonder what they're like actually for.
Gin.
Just gin. There's some interesting bits in here about gin that I guess we'll get to. But before we go a step goddamn further, we have something to do. We need to dedicate this episode to our Patreon. It's the Patreon shout out segment.
You know it. You love it.
Today's episode is dedicated to Sika R. That's right, folks. Today's episode is brought to you by Sika R.
Oh, you know what the first thing that came to my head was, and I don't know why, I haven't heard it in a long time. I don't even know how to do it like she does. It's like, oh, Sika, you know I have stoned I can't do the that she does. I don't know.
Look at them, my breasts are small and humble.
Yeah. Humble. Big as mountains. I don't remember what she says.
Oh,
those
no.
are 2 different songs.
You don't confuse them with mountains. The first song that came to my head was the Frosted Flakes theme song, and I was Sika R is more than good. They're great. I remember
choke when you said with that song. I always say they're more than great. I do that a lot of the time. There was
an episode where you did that. You were like there, and you were so proud, and like you were projecting so hard. You were like, "They're more than great," and then you went there. Great. And I forget the episode, but I wish I could remember because I would love to go listen to that. But shut up and sit down and listen. I'm talking to you about juniper berries.
Oh, I guess you go first then. Fine.
I do. Okay, juniper berries. Juniperus communis.
Oh.
The zodiac sign is Sagittarius. Why?
Oh.
Don't know why.
We know a Sag. We know a mini Sag.
We know a handful of Sag. Planet. Jupiter.
Well, who knew?
What's your favorite planet?
Saturn.
Really? I'm not trying to be funny, but Pluto.
I
I've always now I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do with myself.
It's a dwarf something. It's still a thing. It's existing still.
It's there. They say Pluto's a fucking planet, bitch.
Freaking Jerry.
Oh yes.
but I have a close second. I have a close second with Neptune. They're kind of close.
I never think about Neptune.
I like the color of it. I think
People say Neptune, and I'm like, oh, I forgot he was there. Venus. I do like a Venus.
Oh yeah.
I do like a sexy Veen.
Mm.
All right. The element juniper berries are associated with is fire. Chakras are throat and the third eye, which I was actually very glad to hear because my assumed purpose for juniper berries is very third eye related. So I was like, hey, look, I wasn't wrong. And a deity you can associate with it is Asherah. So juniper berries are not berries at all. And if you thought they were, you're shut up, dummy. They are a
Loser.
Nerd. They are a fleshy seed cone.
Delicious.
A fleshy seed cone.
Love that.
Sometimes coated in a wild yeast bloom.
All around great. Just delicious. All the words.
Yeasty, fleshy seed cone. But that if it is coated in that kind of powdery yeasty bloom, that's sometimes used in the brewing process and kind of help aid that process. Get a natural brewing culture, biome, I don't know what you call it. Most recognized for the part that they play in flavoring gin. Juniper berries actually gave their name to gin. So gin comes from the Old French for juniper.
Well, there you go. Wow.
You're a fan. Wow. You're a fan of gin, yeah?
I love gin. I think it is my favorite. I think it's my favorite liquor, really. Like, I like tequila too. I like the flavor of tequila.
Oh yeah.
But more often than not, if I'm drinking a cocktail on a hot day, it's going to be probably a gin Ricky, and I love it. I think it's very crisp.
Now you're a fan of the junipery flavor, right?
Yeah, I like the tree flavor. That it does it for me.
See, that's what puts me off of gin. And if I can get a gin without that strong junipery flavor, I quite dig it. Like that elderberry gin.
Yeah, the midsummer. I think that was. Or yeah, I don't remember their little midsummer solstice gin. Hendrix was super good.
That was good. Okay, let's see. It comes from the Old French for juniper. There is a juniper oil and a juniper berry oil. Now, I also kind of wanted to distinguish. I'm not really talking about the plant or the tree plant juniper. I'm specifically talking about that little conifer, whatever they call it, the fleshy, yeasty seed pod.
Little blue
berries.
Blue ball.
Yeah, I'm just going to call them berries because that's kind of just what everybody knows. But anyway, there is a juniper oil and a juniper berry oil. Juniper oil is made from things like the berries are included, but it's also like bark, leaves, other parts of the tree or plant, while the berry oil is made just from the fruit. So if you're looking to obtain a more distilled, more strong version of these properties, go with that juniper berry oil. Now, contraindications and warnings. Here we go. I'm just going to blast on through. Make sure you know what you're getting. There's many types of juniper berries, and some are toxic. If you're just starting out, maybe don't run out into the forest and try to find some berries. You never want to fuck with berries if you don't know what you're doing. But source them from an online supplier that can guarantee that what they are giving to you is Juniperus communis. Only use it for about 4 to 6 weeks at a time. I saw 4 a lot, so I would stick to kind of that low end. After that, if you're using it heavily or to treat something in a medicinal way, you do run the risk of adverse effect on the body, particularly the kidneys. Speaking of kidneys, this is not really for people with inflammatory kidney disease, or if you have lost a kidney. Causes uterine contractions, so avoid if pregnant. And as always, talk to your doctor if you are taking any medications. Let's move on. So,
did you say that's cuminous? Communis? What is the second word? It reminds me of what they called Marcus Aurelius.
Oh yeah, cuminous. Communis. So
so spelled different, but okay, interesting.
Why is that one little bit of trivia sticking around so
It
hard.
seems to be that's like the second or third time it's come up
Every
again.
single episode since then, I feel like we've talked about it. All right, so gin, you can use it to, of course, flavor your foods in the kitchen and your drinks. You can also use it in a ritual bath. Just float some of them, float some of them around in the water if you have the oil. You can use a drop or two of the oil. You can dry your juniper berries out to use as incense. You can also crush up some dry juniper berries to dress candles with. You can, as always, throw these into jars, bags, amulet. I saw someone say that they string it into jewelry, a little necklace of juniper berries. And I thought that was cute to kind of keep those powers on you. In my notes, every time I say juniper berries, I just wrote JB.
Oh.
So I always am thinking like, I'm thinking keeping the power of Jack Black on you. All right, so
that'd be valuable as hell, though. Like if I could have one shred of his energy and flexibility and just overall panache.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. I'll take it. I feel like we did discuss that in a bonus episode on Patreon. I feel like we talked about whose energy would you steal, and I think you did say Jack Black. All right, in the medieval period, can you guess what juniper berries were believed to help ward off?
Demons. Oh, okay.
Well, the same thing, really.
Sure, yeah.
And what I'm about to read comes from Hearth Wisdom's store, where you can purchase some juniper berries, and here's their little description. Historically, juniper was often hung at the front door to reflect evil spirits, bad elements, and sickness. Its crisp, pungent, and strong aroma. I love it when descriptions like always find a really creative way to say stinky, but its crisp, pungent, and strong aroma awakens many of the senses, aiding in growth towards enlightenment and drastically raising one's vibrations. This high vibe helps to banish curses, hexes, or bad luck, resulting in fun-filled, carefree lifestyle. It's been used for centuries to create incense, carries a positive earthly energy, and it's good for self-manifestation and striding towards your dreams and joys and goals.
Wow. Well-rounded. It's a full package. I love the smell. I'm down for the smell so hard.
I like the smell quite a bit. I don't like the taste, but I do enjoy the smell. And if what I read is correct, now I have not used it in this way, but if I have read it correctly, burning it in an incense actually kind of gives you that smell. Sometimes incense just always smell like burnt shit to me. So who knows?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
In a mundane way. All right, listen, shut up. Not only are juniper berries antiseptic and antiviral, but they're also a diuretic, which means they make you pee.
Is that? I guess that there's a relation there as to why for like inflammatory kidney diseases and whatnot, they don't work too well together because diuretics can wear on you pretty hard.
Yeah. And they just seem to be pretty hard on the kidneys all around. But that's for an extended period of time because on a short basis, that antiseptic, antiviral, diuretic stuff all kind of culminates into a powerhouse for UTI like infections.
Oh, okay.
Feeling one coming on or even cystitis, a tea or something made of juniper berries can really flush that out. It's one of the better things I've read to use. Now, of course, you shouldn't be having a UTI last like 4 weeks. Go to the doctor.
Yeah.
But, if you feel one coming on and you can like drink some cranberry.
There's sometimes that small window that you can catch it.
And then after a few days, you're like, oh, I think I got it. Hell yeah. All around, it's an immune booster as well as an antioxidant. So if you're looking for those free radical fighting bitches, throw juniper berries in the mix. It's one of the oldest uses is in chest medicine. So colds, congestions, even sore throats, respiratory infections, stuff like that. Just kind of that upper respiratory yuckiness that you can get. A tea made from juniper can help with digestion issues like overindulgence or if you're having a hard time, if you ever just eat something, you just feel like, oh boy, that's sitting like a rock in my, like, it is not breaking down. It's going to be there for a while.
Yeah.
Uh, that along with gas and bloating, juniper berries help produce the enzymes that will actually it'll get your stomach chewing away on the foods, which sounds gross, but it can be really helpful. And according to naturallivingideas.com, it eliminates gas and bloating.
Whoa.
Yeah. Forever.
Wiped out.
But it does help to get rid of that excess water in the body because it is a diuretic. So if you have like PMS bloating, if you feel like you carry around, you just get kind of swollen and kind of just full of water, juniper tea can help. It also helps stimulate those contractions. So it can help just move the process along. Get it over with a little sooner.
Yeah. Any little bit helps.
Just eating handfuls of blue juniper berries. Don't do that. Topically, you can use it on skin that is inflamed or irritated, so bug bites, wounds, or any kind of outward abrasion. But it's also useful in easing arthritis, and it can help repel ticks and mosquitoes, and it's even claimed to help smooth cellulite. So you can use it topically for just a slew of reasons, but always make sure to kind of dilute, especially if you're using the straight up oil, dilute it in a sunflower or jojoba oil or the oil of your choosing. I like sunflower and jojoba oil. In the kitchen, they lend a woody flavor to game meat and sausages, as well as drinks like gin, as we've talked about. It's very, very popular in the foods of Scandinavia, as it has been for years, millennia. I don't know why I said it like that.
Look at me, Scandinavia.
Look at me, Scandinavia. I don't think that that's a Scandinavian accent. I don't know. In any way that you use them, they can be quite strong. So you only need to use a small amount. So don't overdo it. You can overdo it quite easily. And they don't have a particularly pleasant taste when they are very strong. Magically, purification and protection are the bread and mother flippin' butter of juniper berries. Drives away anything that's undesired. If you use it in your incense, it just busts up that like miasma and that negativity, and it just is a protection powerhouse. It's a rock star.
It's a rock star.
But it has a very similar use in love. And this is an aspect of love magic that I think people don't really think about that much. So yeah, it can draw love, sure. If you're making a love drawing spell or a self-love, it can help draw in the energies of love, sure. But it keeps away unwanted attentions.
Okay.
I read that and I was like, oh, that somebody's got to hear that.
Yeah.
And its use in sexual magic. Sexual magic.
For the intercourse spell magic.
That's how I feel. If you're going to be using this in an intimate kind of way.
During copulation.
I hate that. I hate that. Okay. When it comes to sex magic, it does seem to focus around virility.
Okay.
So it's got a very, it's about potency, and it's not necessarily so much about the desire part of it, but it's a very physical part.
The effectiveness. Yeah.
Yes. Also, it's outside of love and that kind of stuff. Juniper berries enhance your creativity by helping you. And it does so in a very specific way. It helps you voice your ideas for arts or projects, or even perhaps singing. Because remember,
that throat chakra.
Exactly. It works with the throat chakra. And as I had said at the top, I have a personal kind of a specific use for juniper berries. I always use them in psychic power and like psychic connection, that kind of way, much like blueberries, how you would use blueberries. I like to use these in third eye related work. So whether it's protection or if I'm trying to do dream work or even just like simple divination, I tend to turn to Juniper Berries
Yeah,
quite a
I like
bit.
that. I was just when you said that, I was like, "Oh, that's cute, Juniper Berries." I
I
like
did
that.
that on purpose, and it wasn't an accident for
Mhm.
sure.
EM.
And to end off, I have a quote here, and as usual, it doesn't add much to the
Okay,
actual.
sure.
Okay, so I wonder if Vlad is still making that mead with juniper berries mixed in, and that was said by Rayloff from Skyrim.
There it is. I'm so glad.
Yes, and it's one of my favorite lines. It's
Yes.
there are people out there who know the entire opening of Skyrim from heart. It's like
Oh, like
become
when
a
you're in the wagon?
yeah, and he's "Ah, you're finally awake," and they know the whole thing, and it's like meme-ish at this point. But that for some reason that is always one of my favorite lines because it's just anyway. I could talk for a long time, but that's juniper berries.
Concise and interesting. I liked it.
I'm glad you liked it. Are you going to be using it for your copulation magic?
I no, probably not, but, 'cause I am interested though in some of the, like, protective uses and also, just some of the other uses because it does grow around here.
Mm.
And I don't know, be neat to you. I like to use the things that grow around here.
Make sure you know what you got, dude, because you
Yeah,
don't
I don't
want to
wanna
poison
die.
yourself. Macy, I love doing this podcast. And you know what I love about it? We can really pick and choose our own topics that we get to go in and talk about all the magical properties. But sometimes, you know what I wish there was? I wish there was like a school for witches, like
Oh,
an online Hogwarts of sorts.
whoa!
Ah!
Well, that is perfect, Charlie, because we have a very special sponsor today, who is just that, okay? We are talking about Blackbird Magick.
Patty Black is behind Blackbird Magick, and I guess that makes Patty sort of like the Dumbledore.
The headmistress,
Sure.
yeah, which I gotta say, Patty Black,
Patty
great name,
Black. Oh
great
boy.
name.
And Patty believes that you get to claim the title of witch, which is something that we also believe here at the Witch Bitch Amateur Hour. No outside authority or initiations are necessary to be a witch. That community and experienced guidance bring valuable motivation and structure for continuing to learn and grow at your own craft.
Patty's quoted here saying that their early practice really faltered and stalled. There were no covens or things like that around, and it was difficult because there was no one to explore ideas with, no one to help kind of push you forward. You know, something that I feel like you and I know I do, I take for
Oh, yeah.
granted about you, you know, in this podcast in general, every
Yeah.
single week, you know, it keeps you having to dive into this. But if you don't have that, things can definitely stall a little bit, or you can maybe feel like you're floundering. And so Blackbird Magick offers two programs, kind of, and I like them too. They're versatile that can
Hmm.
kind of lead you on whatever path you're on, and there's some good content there for those.
So we have the Society of Magical Humans.
Love that name.
Love it. Society of Magical Humans. And we have the Lunar Witch Program. But starting off with the Society of Magical Humans.
Mhm.
This is a casual coven for training on practical magic topics and techniques that you can apply immediately, no matter what type of witchcraft that you practice, your experience level, anything like that. The topics are always relevant and accessible. You can participate in the live Zoom sessions, but they're also recorded and available for 3 months after that. So if you miss one, you can jump back in and continue learning hands-on. And Macy, let's read the upcoming class schedule in that way that we do. Upcoming classes include extreme magical ingredients,
Alternative altars.
magical sigils,
Lunar magic.
candle magic series,
Partnering with plants.
activating your ingredients,
Traditional witchcraft.
shadow work,
Creating servitors.
everyday witchery,
Enchant your art.
the power of the pentagram. The power of the pentagram.
Tarot magic.
And, oh, dude, I'm glad I get this one. The Forbidden Craft series.
those are some really, like, I love the strong titles to
Oh
these
boy.
classes, and I have to say, I wanna touch on, so how, it's, you were mentioning earlier that it's very relevant and accessible, and also something that you can apply immediately. I was watching I was in the Society of Magical Humans, which is the one I found myself gravitating to a bit more because I'm not a night witch, it doesn't come naturally to me.
Mhm.
I, of course, like, respect the moon, but it's like I'm not out there showing the moon my titties all the time because I do that for the sun. That's
What?
the sun in mind. That's our
That's
relationship.
right. Yeah.
Like, I'm not afraid to do it. I'm just usually asleep. Therefore, I
Yeah.
do not.
Okay.
But there was a wonderful video that I was just I had going, just kind of on my computer, just kind of playing. And it was about the element of water. And there was a lot of really, really pertinent information in that I didn't think about. And talking about, one of the things they touched on was offerings, and when I do spell work, I like to do elemental offerings, and I'll do incense for air and a candle for fire and dirt for earth, and I do water for water, but every now and again it does kind of feel a little lame, like, because it's like, okay, here's water, and I don't know why,
Yeah.
because I do dirt. But like, they went on really explaining how that's like, no, water is a sacred thing. Like, water
Mm.
is not just water. And it was really, really interesting. And it made me feel better about it and also be a bit more attracted to water, which I think is probably the weakest element for me. Uh yeah, probably so. When it all comes down, when push comes to shove,
Oh.
I think water is like my least dominant element. So it was really, really helpful. And it was stuff that I just kind of like absorbed as I was listening to it. And I was like, well, there you go.
Yeah, and the fact of how immediate that is. Sometimes I don't know, just getting distracted very easily, will learn something and be like, I can't wait to put that to use. Close my notebook and then I never think about it again. But the
Yeah.
fact that you've like already walked away with something,
Yeah.
and you beans can do it too because the membership grants you access to all of the classes and workshops. You get the supportive and inclusive Facebook community, the recordings of the sessions, and the bonus content within the group. Dude, that's a lot of
A
content.
lot of content. So again, this is a subscription-based program, and it is $22 a month. But Beans, listen up, all of you, listen up, boy,
Sit down and
because
listen.
this is it. You Beans, you can get a coupon code, 20% off every month.
Oh,
20% off every month. Not
not
a
just the first
one-timer.
month.
No,
Damn.
every month. And that is the code WBAH
Oh,
Society 20, all caps.
can we steal WBH
I
Society? Because
know, it's
that's cool,
slick.
dude.
So, along with the Society of Magical Humans class, there is the Lunar Witch class, which is the newest program being offered by Blackbird Magick.
Oh. The Lunar Witch course is designed for new and experienced witches to build a deep and meaningful connection with the moon and learn how to best work with and celebrate the moon in all of its phases. Dude, I am looking forward to this. I am one to show the moon my titties, and I am quite excited to get out and learn about all the phases because as a beginner witch, as the A in WBAH, an
Mhm.
amateur, I have worked with the new moon. I've worked with the full moon. Sometimes I'll get wild and crazy and I'll be like, I know what waxing means, but I don't I don't really work with all the phases. And I'm
Right.
very excited to learn to go into that deeper. And just like Patty says, this is for those of us who want to go beyond just charging the crystals or making moon water, but you want to connect very deeply with one of the most ancient sources of magic, the moon, the lady that we all know in the sky. There are 9 video lessons, and you can explore many ways to use the moon. You'll get lunar spells for all occasions. You'll get magical techniques for each of the lunar phases. You'll learn about a wide variety of moon goddesses. There are live online moon rituals
I
offered
caught one of those
regularly.
the other night. It was specifically for the dark moon.
Damn it!
It's still there. It's because that's the
Oh,
beauty of this, is that all of the lives are still there. So if you don't catch them when they happen, you can just pop on over and it's all still there for you. And you can get it, give it a look.
give it a feast your eyes. The Lunar Witch option is not a subscription group. It is hosted on the Facebook, which you get lifetime access. That's your whole life. That's your entire life. You get to go onto the Facebook and get all of that content and the bonus spells and everything from lessons to videos. It's all going to be added regularly. And there's lives. You can talk to the other people. You can, as they say, kind of take a break and come back and it'll all still be there for you. Because sometimes it gets overwhelming.
Sometimes it does.
Learning new things. But listen up. Lunar Witch is $66, but you beans can take a fat 20% off with the code WBAHLunar20.
So this and Society of Magical Humans is hosted on Facebook. So you also get a nice little group that you get to join. And there's little, that's where the things are posted and there's interaction there, which is always really nice. And you can learn more about this and Patty's other offerings at Blackbird Magick. That's magic with a CK, not just a C.com.
And if you want to rewind a couple of seconds, you can hear proof just by the way Macy says the word humans that she is indeed an alien.
You got me.
You did. You're like, magical humans. And I want to wrap up with just a little quick a quote here from the website. Again, that's blackbirdmagick.com. This world needs all the witches. You get to claim the title of witch. Learn your craft. Claim your magic.
I like that. Claim it. Take it.
Be a human.
Be a human. Are we human?
Are we dancers?
Are we dancer?
I still don't know what that song means, but I've grown to like it. I've grown to hate it less.
I feel like there's a lot of the Killers songs that you just kind of have to take and be like, I'm not going to think too hard about this song.
No. The lyrics are meaningless. No. Macy, do you know what can impact our lives in less than ideal ways?
I'm just going to go out on a whim here and I'm going to guess mental health.
The licensed professional counselors of BetterHelp are specialized in depression,
stress,
anxiety,
relationships,
sleeping,
grief,
trauma,
family conflicts,
LGBT matters,
anger,
self-esteem,
and more. But whether it's something a bit more, quote, simple or a bit more of a niche or complicated issue, there are counselors ready to assist you since it's an online platform. They have a wide range of counselors for different topics that maybe you won't be able to find in your small town situation.
When you connect to your professional therapist, it is in a safe and private online environment. So you don't have to wait in that dirty, nasty, gross, kind of smelly waiting room ever again.
Terrible waiting room. And with your counselor, if you decide that maybe you're not jiving, whatnot, you can change at any time. It's not a big deal. They hook you up with a new one and you can get to communicating with them however you want. And that can be texting, messaging, emailing, calling. So many options that you can get in touch with them at a frequency that you prefer. And just kind of get chatting with a counselor that really gets you. And if you want 10% off your first month of BetterHelp, you can hop on over to betterhelp.com/witch to get 10% off of your first month of BetterHelp.
So head on over there, fill out your questionnaire, and get matched to a counselor today.
I have a lot to talk to you about worms, about worms.
I'm redonkulously excited about this.
So I've been thinking about worms a lot.
I'm sorry.
So so every spring is a real it's a super green witch time for me. In general, it's springtime, and I kind of have come to realize that I evolve a little bit as the year goes on. So I start out like the new year oftentimes as a green witch and I get everything. And I feel like I lean more like cottage hearth hedge witch type stuff towards the latter half of the year because I'm using the things that I've grown, and it just kind of, but this is big time green witch energy for me every year. And I'm always needing to kind of reconnect again after the winter dormancy. And I like to meditate on things like that, like meditate on kind of the waking back up and the shoots coming in the ground, and you can envision yourself like down in the dirt, and then the roots come up, like all that stuff.
What did you say? You imagine you just decomp into the ground?
Yeah, you're just rotting away. I like to do that, and I think it's always a good way to kind of reconnect to the earth again after kind of distancing myself. But the beauty of earthworms is they're just these incredible creatures. They're so resilient. The fact that we still have some, so we have little earthworms, they're little red wigglers is what they are, and the aquaponics bed. And all three.
I thought you meant the world, not just you and Hunter. I'm sorry, I was confused. You're like, it's amazing that we still have any.
We still have red wigglers. And so we have them in the aquaponics bed. And like these, they live in the lava rock that is in the beds. And these guys have survived being roughly scooped out of the bed while being in rocks, that could easily crush them, scooped out, dumped into 5-gallon buckets. And the 5-gallon buckets were dumped into a truck bed. Then the truck bed was dumped out into the ground where the mountain of rock sat for over a month and then was put back into the beds only to be frozen solid into a block of ice for about 12 days.
That's the part that amazes me the most, that anything made it through that freeze that we had, because we don't have things down here that live through that. Like,
no. And the fact that these little worms lived through all of that, and now I can dig in the beds and find little worms, and so I've really been bonding with worms, and they don't freak me out like they used to. Like I can handle them and it's not a big deal, like. And so I've just been really interested in them and just how much they help us and how little we care or know about them, and I didn't know to the extent of the magnitude of just how incredible that these animals are. And, especially like night crawlers, which are your big guys, your big, thick earthworms, like that we have here, like the big, like footlongers, which we can't have those in the bed because they'll just fuck off.
Yeah.
They'll just leave. If they're not feeling it, they'll just leave and ditch out. But it just cracks me up to think about. They're just like, all right, I'm gonna head out. And they
I gotta make a move. Bye.
So anyway, all of this is to say is that I've had a lot of contact with worms lately. And like I was sitting out the other day, just sitting out in the grass, and I looked down and like just crawling on the top of the grass was a big ass like night crawler earthworm. And it was just there on the surface. I was like, what are you doing? And so I just sat and looked at it for a long time. And I just like watched it. And I like watched it poke its what should be soft little head into the ground. And it just like augured through the dirt and disappeared. And it's just like, that's incredible. Like it's just, they're incredible. And so I wanted to talk about them. I think, and I know some of the northern states are starting to like thaw out a little bit and spring is coming for them. And so I just really wanted to ride the springtime energy. And I think there's a lot of springtime energy in earthworms, and there's a lot that we can use them for in our green witchery.
The worm moon is around this time. I remember talking about how that's when you would start to see the worms. Okay, cool. So all I'm thinking about is Diglett. Really? That's all I can think about is Diglett.
Yeah. Diglett never read as a worm to me.
What?
Yeah, Diglett, I don't know, reads as like a toe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I get it.
Super, super earthy animals. And just tied to the earth in general. And so like, while that seems a bit obvious, I'm going to kind of explain what they do, like how they work and the benefit that they add to soil, like how it all works. And it is just, they are just made for the earth and they care for the earth, and it's amazing. And they're hugely important, one, in the decomposition in soils. So they completely change the structure of the soil, like everything about it, with how the water drains in it, the like the nutrients in it, and like the microbial like colony and the health of that, and the breaking down and creation of new nutrients by like the microbes eating things. They are so important to that. And they're not necessary for like all of your soil ecosystems, but having them means like it's healthy.
Mm.
You know, like if you see them, you're like, okay, this is some good, healthy, some good soil. And they just perform a lot of beneficial functions. So, and I'm just going to kind of go and so just kind of what they do. So they're really, really important in the growth and health of like the microbe balance and colony in soil. So soil is full, like healthy, good natural soil is full of microbes. And these microbes break down nutrients and therefore can create nutrients that plants can pull from. So, for instance, like in the aquaponic system, the fish urine, it's mainly the urine and not the shit that makes the biggest difference. Like that ammonia gets converted by the little microbes, all the little bacteria, and and that gets converted, and the plants thrive from that. And the same thing. So your microbes break down nutrition that the plants can then take in. So they're very important. There's a really nice little symbiotic relationship between earthworms and these microbes. So basically, the worms, like the matter that passes through the worms' intestines and whatnot, is full of these microbes, and this kind of organic matter that they're taking in, and so their castings and whatnot are full of microbes and whatnot. So that's dispersing these microbes and all throughout the soil and kind of carrying them all throughout the soil. And the
Sorry.
castings are worm shit.
Okay, sorry. I always get that confused for like their dead bodies, like what you would
Yeah.
call a dead body.
It seems like it. Yeah, it's kind of a confusing term.
Mm.
But yeah, it's their waste product.
Poopy.
Yeah, they have this really good ability in kind of increasing the filtration and aeration throughout the soil. So as some of these, for instance, especially like night crawlers, they'll go pretty deep down into the soil and then they'll come up to the surface. So there are these burrows that are their homes kind of down deep, and then these tunnels that run all throughout the soil. And these little tunnels live even long after the worm that lived in them died. And they're just kind of these networks in the soil. And these can be really, really helpful for drainage of soil, especially in heavy rainfall, because it's kind of these little tunnels that the water can filter down through and be locked in and help conserve groundwater, which is something that doesn't happen in unhealthy soil. Like for instance, in like soil that is in fields that are hit with desertification, like if they've been just really like industrial, like fucking like all of Kansas, the cornfields and whatnot that are these commercial fields, and basically they're just supplemented and full of pesticides and whatnot.
Are you ready to be added by Kansas?
Well, it's true. Like as someone who drove through Kansas, like I saw the aftermath of the cutting season. It's just dead brown fields. And that's common here. Like, I mean, they're just about 30 miles down the road. That starts here. And it's these big subsidized crop fields that basically spray, pesticides and whatnot into the soil. It kills the soil, but then therefore the soil's dead. You still have to grow every single year instead of rotating, and it kills the soil. And you don't have earthworms in soil like that because it's pretty dead. So anyway, soils that don't have a healthy, good like topsoil that is protected, experience really bad runoff and whatnot. So that's just like another thing to where, you have healthy soil can lock in groundwater, which we need water. We're going to really need water in like, I don't know, probably sooner than we think. So as much like groundwater and whatnot that we can lock in is good. And they just kind of help with that, the health of the soil. So their little channels that they kind of plow and till through the soil on their own are helpful for roots that need to grow. Like fresh little young roots can kind of use those little tunnels to start gripping and growing into the soil. They help shred and tear down plants that die and need to kind of get broken down into the soil. Eventually they get buried by like the worm castings, which you've seen worm castings before. They're kind of those weird, it's like they sit on top of the soil and you'd know them if you saw them. And it kind of eventually just draws things down into the soil, covers them up, and they can decompose. And so that means the worms live there and they've pooped there, and it's pretty good soil for them. They're happy there. um, they're having a good time. So there's a few different kinds of earthworm going on, and not all of them are like your heavy hitter, like long traveling night crawlers. So you have some kind of more surface species, and these are epigic worms, and they're often like your compost worms. They're kind of staying up at the surface. They'll eat the leaf litter and whatnot. They're kind of scooting around up at the top.
Just getting eaten by birds all the time.
Yeah, yeah. And that's what I was reading. I was like, okay, so they're like the front line that gets eaten by birds. Got it. So then there's upper soil species, and these are endogeeic species. So they'll live kind of in the upper soil levels, kind of maybe your topsoil level. And they'll eat kind of the soil, all the action up there, and they'll work through that soil and eat things that are there. They don't really have like a permanent den like some night crawlers do. They just kind of move. They're always moving. They're rambling. They're just rambling worms, always on the look for their next snack.
Just imagining like a little worm with like a little bindle over his shoulder.
Yeah, he's got like his little hat on, and he's hitting the road. So then there's your deep burrowing species. So anisic or anikic species. I don't know how to say it. Anecic. So
a knee kick.
These are your night crawlers. These are your big boys, your thick boys. Lumbricus terrestris is one of them. And they kind of live in pretty much a permanent to semi-permanent little burrow system that can be pretty deep, like several meters into the soil. Like they'll get down deep into the ground. But they like to come up to the top or come, near the surface, grab surface litter, and they'll kind of yank it back down to their burrows and pull it down there to munch on it. And
the night crawlers will do that?
Yeah, night crawlers.
I've heard those are just pants.
Are you happy?
Yeah.
I just had to let that one sit, and I had to taste it a little bit before commenting. You're welcome. So, so this is beneficial as hell, them doing this. These worms are coming from their little deep homes up to the surface, and they're grabbing tasty litter and they're yanking it back down. And essentially what this is doing is this is cycling the soil. This is kind of like what vitamin A does for your skin. That's cellular turnover. That's kind of what they're doing. So they're bringing surface matter into the ground and they're cycling this through.
Right.
And it's just, I kind of get into that a little more later, I think, on kind of like how that all helps. So, here it is. So basically, the more earthworms that you have, if you have a very healthy earthworm presence in your soil, you have all these earthworms, and they're coming up and down every day, and they're pulling this matter and this residue into their little deep homes, and they're mixing this matter every day, basically improving the overall structure of the soil. They're cycling material through. They're bringing good, like rich stuff down, which will help decompose in the earth and nourish, the soil system and whatnot. So they're kind of like tilling, but in slow, and not very like destructive, like not in the tilling that destroys the soil, but like slowly they're like aerating the soil and bringing the food down and whatnot.
They're probably like pooping along the way.
They are
kind of mixing everything up.
Yeah, they're leaving super nutritious castings all over the place, and they're just helping all around. So that was from nrcs.usda.gov. So basically, the beauty of these guys is that they just improve wherever they go. They make it a better place than it was before they arrived. And these castings are so like nutritious for plants. They're such an incredible fertilizer. It's again, that's why we have them in the aquaponics bed. Like, not only do they eat dead roots and whatnot, and they like the other day we pulled out a root, like a horseradish root, and there was already a worm just munching away on the dead material. And it's just like, thanks, buddy. Like, buddy, like, thank you, and it was just sitting there just munching away. And it's just like, thanks,
Like,
man.
this is a spicy root.
Yeah, and he's just having a good time. I mean, you can just buy bag or like worm castings, like people farm worms and you can buy the worm castings, or you could just farm your own worms or just establish like a healthy little colony of your own or a soil ecosystem, and the worms will come to you. And they'll help you maintain and kind of encourage the soil health, the microbial health, and just kind of all of the aspects that you need for good, healthy soil for growing things. So,
worm farm. This sounds nasty.
Pretty much is. So let's talk about how important worms are, like the sheer necessity of earthworms. So much more important than we are. So much more important. So according to Christopher Lloyd, not the actor, Christopher Lloyd. I know. I was like, a history scholar, a professor at Cambridge University. He published a book called What on Earth Evolved? 100 Species That Changed the World. And it's kind of a top 100 influential list of species on the planet. And you guessed it, earthworms take the number 1 spot.
The number 1? Jesus.
Number 1. We didn't even break top 5. We're number 6.
Well, no, we're trash.
Yeah, I know. We suck. Like there was like also like algae was there. It was your small guys, like that you wouldn't think are important that actually really, really, really are. So this was from a blog, or this is from Nat Geo, but blog.nationalgeographic.org. So this is directly taken. So, quote, after considering the most important species that evolved before the ascent of human civilization from the beginning of life on Earth until about 12,000 years ago, and then mulling all the species that have been successful since 12,000 years ago, that is the species that have flourished because of modern humans. Lloyd finds and agrees with Charles Darwin. The earthworm is indeed the most influential species in the history of the planet. So, how long is 500 million years ago, the ancestors of worms slipped out of the ocean and scooted onto the ground and pretty much immediately got to homemaking and like making the world a better place. So, quote again, these earthworms have been plowing up the earth, ventilating the soil, and nourishing terrestrial ecosystems with their excrement ever since. So, top it off, earthworms have survived 5 mass extinctions. 5 mass extinctions. And they've just, their impact on human history is immense. So here's another quote. So, were it not for their continuous regeneration of soils around damp river valleys such as the Nile, Indus, and Euphrates, early agricultural societies in Egypt, India, and Mesopotamia could never have succeeded in building humanity's first large-scale urban communities. Wherever earthworms plow, people thrive. When worms perish, societies collapse.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's a quote from Christopher Lloyd. So, Doc.
Yeah.
So the European earthworm is your classic night crawler, probably the most invasive species in the world, spread by colonization. However, unlike most, I don't know about most, but many invasive species, it does not destroy shit, like the snakehead or murder hornets, things like that. It doesn't come in and fuck up like an earthworm can arrive in a new ecosystem and like just start making it a better place. Like that's what they do, So the amount of soil that a worm, one healthy worm can do so much. Okay. So, they're going up and down, they're aerating the soil, they have their little home and they bring shit up and they bring stuff down. So one worm can go in 1 year, they can produce 1/3 of a pound of like top grade fertilizer.
Whoa.
One worm, like that's serious. Like considering how big they are and how many worms there are. A third of a pound of like top grade fertilizer, like the shit, literally, like that you
Mm.
want. Like
Whoa.
one worm can do that just by doing what they do. Like even so in like 100 square feet of garden of healthy soil, earthworms can bring up 4 to 8 pounds of dirt each year. So they're cycling rich, deep dirt and bringing topsoil down to help the breaking down process all the time. And they can bring multiple pounds of rich dirt to the soil every year that is like tilled in the very natural way. So they eat soil and they digest it. And as they tunnel, they produce these castings, which they just leave all throughout the soil as they're moving along. They just leave them as they go. And these castings overall help with the nutrient level of the soil. So you get important, like super Pordortant and super important Pordortant, super
Jesus.
super important nutrients such as nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. So like,
Jesus.
yeah, your plants need
That's like the building blocks of, yeah.
yeah, like, you know, they are very important, which is these are also really important nutrients in the aquaponic system. Like when the plants are low in potassium, they get really wilty, things like that. Like it just kind of comes from that. Uh, so yeah, like they're doing like serious shit, you know, and it's like it's always, you know, and I've had like an opinion of worms. Like I've always been happy to see them because I know like healthy worms mean there's
Yeah.
healthy soil, you know, but I've not known what they're doing, you know, like what it is that they're doing and how they break things down and just how incredibly beneficial that they are. So before we get to kind of the witchy uses and what you can use this information for, I have some facts for you, just some worm knowledge, just some
Hot facts.
stuff. So there are approximately 2,700 species of earthworm. There are many much earthworm. I didn't know this, and I thought this was really interesting. So I just assume that all bugs, worms, what have you, just don't live long at all. Like they just live like a month or some shit, you know? The average lifespan of earthworms is species dependent. However, it has been found that some have the potential to live 4 to 8 years.
Hmm.
And granted, that's if they're in protected growing conditions like a farm. No predators can get them, and ideal conditions. But that's pretty. That's impressive. Like
That's
you're tunneling worms
longer.
than I would have
Yeah.
ever thought. Like that's
Oh, yeah.
so your crawly worms, your big guys, your night crawlers. Yeah, it's looking about 6 years under ideal conditions. Granted, this is a much shorter lifetime in the natural world.
Yeah.
So you might be talking 2 or so years for
Still.
a wild worm. Um, get this. This is crazy. This kind of blew me away. So, given, you know, good, healthy conditions, like good soil, 1 acre of land, just one rich acre of land can yield more than 1 million earthworms. An acre's not that big. Like that's
No.
that's a lot. So the longest earthworm on record was from South Africa and measured 22 feet
Gross.
from tip to tip. It was a
Ew.
big boy. So apparently, a lot of native earthworms in North America are thought to be extinct. I don't know. So I said earlier that, like, you know, you have invasive species and whatnot, and the earthworm doesn't seem to be that big of a deal. I don't know if it's because when they became naturalized in North America, they wiped out the existing earthworms. I really don't know. But we now have.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe they just were too good at their job and they pushed out the other native
I
worms.
remember about, speaking of the worm moon or the earthworm moon or what it's called. I remember way back when we were talking about that. There was something about that. It was like there were just like not worms.
Yeah.
Or like maybe specifically earthworms or whatever. But
Yeah. They were carried.
huh.
The earthworms that we know and love today were brought here. So the main two in the US are the common earthworm or the night crawler, the red earthworm, also known as Lumbricus rubellus.
Ooh.
These so again, those were introduced by Europe during the colonial times through soil and potted plants, just different. I mean, you can't kill them, so they can just hitch a ride, you know.
Yeah.
Uh
The mud on your boot.
Anything, it seems. And like so the earthworms, they're hermaphroditic, which means that each individual worm has both male and female reproductive organs. However, they're not usually self-mating. you often need a mutual exchange of sperm
Oh.
between two worms during mating. And that was from
Mm.
aggie-horticulture.tamu.edu, bringing in some Texas A&M information here. So what do you do with all of this? I like to, and this is kind of similar to, some of your animal episodes that you've done, to where you can pull from the energy of an animal, and you can use that in a variety of different ways. You can use it in meditation, if you're trying to reconnect with the earth, or if you're trying to ground. Maybe you like to ground through meditation. Kind of do an envision like the path of the worm and coming from deep in the ground and coming up to the surface, and kind of do that yourself and kind of put yourself down into the soil and go through that experience with this very earthy creature.
I already see that working better than my feet turning into roots, because I always have a hard time visualizing that, and everyone's like, turn your feet into roots and get down in the ground. But if I pictured a little earthworm coming up, snagging me by the toe and pulling me in the ground, I could do that.
It's just something about it just seems
Huh.
easier. And the even for me, the root thing doesn't always work. Like sometimes I have to do envision work. Like I have to do like kind of it's not always guided, because a lot of time I'm just imagining it myself, but like that kind of go there
Mhm.
type, stuff. And I think that they're really good for that. I mean, they are literally like distilled earth. That's what they do. They take earth and they make better earth. They distill it in their little gut and they make better, healthier earth.
Their little gut.
Yeah. And so, it's not like glamorous energy. It's not like, like lion energy or
Mm,
elephant energy, but
mm.
it is so fucking important. And without them, you might not have elephant energy,
Yeah.
like they really are so important. And I think they're very much overlooked a lot of the time. And I
I
think
will not
too,
stand for you talking shit about elephants, though.
I'm not talking shit
I
about
will come get
elephants.
you.
However, I will say that the grand, majestic elephant could say some thank yous to some earthworms and it would make sense.
This is
So,
also making me think about how, like, when people, like, the insults revolving around worm, like when
yeah,
you're like, a witchless worm, or
yeah.
somebody's wormy. It's like, don't do that.
Yeah,
They're better than that.
they mean well,
Huh.
like they're harder working than most people. Like the the energy of them, perhaps you are wanting to get into sustainability, or you want to start thinking being more conscious about, and there's all different levels, like it's not just being like going full homestead, like there's little things that anybody can do. And maybe if you're just trying to start getting yourself into that mindset, kind of use the energy of the earthworm and think about what they do and how literally like all that they do is make the place better than they found it.
Mm.
And I think that's a good lens to apply in daily life, and not even just in sustainability, but just in general. Interactions with people, or things that you do. Like if you're cleaning your house, like maybe don't use super super harsh chemicals. Like maybe make it better than you found it, but like don't make it worse for where it is, the location itself, the play, little things like that. I think little mindset that you can kind of fall in and think like an earthworm, to where it's like they come in and they're like, we're going to make this a healthier place, not just a better place, but like a more sustainable and a healthier place. And that can be applied to relationships, that can be
Mm.
applied to all kinds of things. Just that attitude of, no, let's kind of take the time and let's do this. Let's move things and let's kind of power. Yeah, I don't know. I just think that there's great energy that earthworms have that you can pull from and be like, I'm going to make whatever it is better than it was when I found it.
I just like think like an earthworm.
Think like an earthworm.
Think like an earthworm.
And I think another good thing and other good energy. So if you, and this is something I've had to work on, and I'm better about it now, but I used to, if I wasn't like, if I wasn't recognized for something, then it almost wasn't worth doing.
Mm.
And I think that that's a very disappointing mindset to get stuck in. And I think it can take a lot of luster out of life to where you're only doing things for the recognition from others. And I think earthworms have the complete opposite energy of that. They are doing incredible things every single day, and they humble earthworm. There are literally millions of them on my property, and they are making the property a incredible, lush, wonderful place. And they don't need to be told thank you. They don't need to be acknowledged. They do it because that's what they want to do. And I think that's very healthy, to try to do. And sometimes, yeah, it is disappointing if you do something and maybe you don't get a thank you, or it's just important to do things because you think they're right to do and not because you want to do them because other people might think they're right for you. You know what I mean? Like, it's a good attitude to be in, to do things for you and for your own satisfaction instead of trying to please others. And I think that they really have good energy for that.
You about to fuck around and make me want to get a worm farm.
I would love a worm farm. I think it would be super cool to have a worm farm.
I've heard that they are like a lot of work, though.
I don't know much about them. I know, Hunter's looked into it a little bit, but I've never really looked into it. I think it would be cool. You just like have a whole box of worms, just your worms.
Yeah. These are my worms.
Yeah, they're kind of like, oftentimes they're like raised up off the ground. They're just like these little bed type box things, and it's just full of worms. And they're a lot of times they're not like, I think your night crawlers are harder to contain because, again,
because they'll just fuck off.
But some of them can't, and so they'll just live there and they'll be content to be there, to live in your little home that you've made them.
I love Nightcrawler energy in particular. I love that.
I do too. I think it's very independent. It's very go-getter energy. There's a lot to them, and it's very also kind of fuck you energy at the same time. It's like, just going to do it because that's what it does. It's not doing it for you. It's not doing it for anybody. It's doing it for itself because it's a worm, goddammit, and that's what it does.
I love anything that will just fuck off when it wants to.
Just whenever. And they don't need to be in the spotlight. They are not what we think of when we think of glamorous, important animals. They don't need to know. They don't need everybody to know how smart they are. They don't give a shit. And when you think of your favorite animal in the forest, almost no one says the earthworm. And if they do, you're like, yeah, you're just being pretentious because, like, nobody else is going to guess earthworm. But like,
earthworm.
Yeah, it's like, but like nobody would say that, even though it's likely the forest itself would not exist without it. So they're very unsung hero energy. And I think it's great. I think it's good energy to have every now and again. It keeps you from being worn down, I think, just to keep chugging along, doing what you're doing because that's what you do.
Very Samwise Gamgee energy.
Yes, absolutely. Dependable, like companion energy, kind of, except for when they fuck off.
Save the whole world, but don't really need to be known for it. And they'll be like, let Frodo take that.
Yeah, and I respect that. I respect it a lot. I just think they're very mystical in their own way. Like, I mean, just when I was watching that one the other day, and I did.
What'd you say? What should have been his soft little head?
Just dove into the ground and disappeared so quickly, and it's just like, this is just amazing, and it didn't even know I was there, probably, like, I mean, they feel vibrations, but I don't even think it knew I was there. It was just living its life. And it was very fascinating to see something so primal. And, I don't know if they're like jellyfish, like I think that they have a nervous system, but it was just neat to see this primal being, ancient, and I just sat and watched it for a long time. It was very, very interesting. I don't know if for one of the first times, as of like, they're just not worms. They're not like just a worm. I see one and I'm like, oh, it's like, it's this thing that I respect. It's important. So really, it has kind of altered my green witch times, and it's hard for me to think of a better creature to work with than an earthworm. I feel like for green witchery, if you're wanting to bless your seeds or anything like that, perhaps honor the earthworm, leave offerings for the earthworm, and honor this creature that is so important for the growth of plants and, even your potted plants, anything like that. You can put them anywhere and they just make things thrive so much. And I just think they're good to learn about and understanding how ecosystems work. You know, a big part of green witchcraft is ecosystems and growing things and not just sticking things into the ground, but understanding why they grow and connecting with nature and things like that. And that even goes down to connecting to the bottom rungs of the ladder, which are the worms, you know, the things that help the microbes, which are even lower down on the ladder. Uh, and they're just it's easy too. Is like, like in your green witchery, like I have my hummingbird feeders and I'll throw bird seed out. And I think of that a lot, like I'm connecting with nature. I don't think about helping out my worms, and it's like now as I add compost to my compost pile, it'll be like I'll add that extra bit of gratitude to it and be like, what, thank you guys. I know you're going to come and I know you're going to eat the shit out of this smorgasbord that I'm
Oh,
giving you right now.
love it.
And yeah, you're gonna have a good time, and that makes me happy that you guys are happy. Thank you, you worms. And it'll make me happy to do that. Um
I want a leather jacket that says "Thank you, you worms."
it's very
Yeah.
punk element to it.
With like a worm skeleton smoking a cigarette.
Yeah, you worms.
Thank you, you worms.
Like worms is spelled out with earthworms, like their little segmented little bodies.
Yeah, dude. Look for it on witchbitchmerchandise.org or whatever we
It'll
sell merch on.
it'll be there. So I think if you're doing spell work that is really involving long running efforts, kind of your long game spells, I think focusing on earthworm energy could really help with that. They are tilling soil and aerating soil, but like only a little bit every year. And it's enough to make a massive difference and to help things thrive. But it's that slow burn, the sizzle, like instead of like just high intensity. And I think a lot of times for me in particular in spell work, that's the work that I do. I like to do the long game. It feels less asky to me. I always get a little nervous sometimes doing spells that have a quick turnaround,
Mm.
just because it's like, all right, I need this done right. It's like, I'd like to plan it, like plan it further out and be like, all right, well, I'm just going to start this and it might be 2 years before shit happens. But like,
Hmm.
I don't know. I just feel like I'm not pulling as much that way. Like I don't have guides or whatever, not being like, this fucking bitch.
Low and slow.
Yeah, and kind of the tortoise energy instead of the hare. And uh, I do really. I've not ever tried myself like I've tried the go into the earth meditations and like picture yourself as like being. I've not tried it as the worm journey. I think
Mm.
that could be a really fun meditation. I want to try that, and see how that goes.
You just turn into an earthworm.
Yeah, and I just think it could be, and plus it'd just be an enjoyable meditation. Might not be a super deep one, but it'll be a relaxing one,
Mm.
I think for sure.
Or it could be super deep. You never
It could
know.
be super deep. Like I could connect to a primal knowledge that like untapping shit.
Oh
You
yeah.
never know.
Unlock the ancient earthworm DNA.
Yeah, yeah. The secrets of all mankind.
Oh god. You can't handle it.
Because they have witnessed our whole coming and going as a
They're
species. Like
just
they
like,
know all the
you
goss.
guys, we can't even see you guys, but we know you suck.
Yeah, y'all suck so hard. Y'all think y'all are badass? Do you know how many times that we've seen all your badass cities just fall?
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
And we're here living
yeah,
still with
we're
the
just down here.
cockroaches. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really amazing, and to me, they represent success.
Mhm.
Like that's just kind of what they do, Like, and I think that's another reason to kind of honor them or add that energy, think on it, and doing spell work, is that it will be better than it was beforehand, and I think in spell work that's important, and it might not be, you might not get exactly what you ask for, like, but oftentimes the goal of spell work is that for the outcome to be something more than it was, because that's why you did it in the first place. And I think that's what they do. They show up, make things better, and they might fuck off, they might not, they might stay there, And I just think that's really good, and that's good energy to have. Um, let me see Here we go. And I just kind of I think like the PR on worms, on earthworms in particular, needs to change. I think they don't get the respect they deserve. And I would like for them to receive the honeybee treatment. I would like
Mm.
for that to happen to where, because it's like, it's becoming more common knowledge now to protect the bees and not use things that harm the bees and pollinators and whatnot. And I think that their protection is just as important. Because while perhaps no, they are not pollinators, they are incredibly important in the health of the soil, which grows the things the pollinators need to pollinate. Uh, and soil now more than ever needs to be focused on the health of soil, especially in the aftermath of overtilling, industrial farming, pesticides, which just kill everything, including the microbes. And so it's so counterproductive. It's like such a nearsighted
Mm.
solution,
Mm-hmm.
like it leads to your dead soils, your desertification, overuse of soil, things like that. And soil that can no longer lock in CO2, which is also what we fucking need. Like soil has an incredible ability to draw down CO2 and lock it in. And the more desertification that happens, that's more dead soil. That's more soil that's not locking in CO2, therefore more CO2 in the atmosphere. So it's like, we really need to start focusing on health. And luckily it's taking off, like soil regeneration and regenerative farming and whatnot. And earthworms have a big part in that. And
Can we just scatter a bunch of earthworms all over the place?
wouldn't that be great? Yeah, just like and
Yeah.
just be like, y'all fix our fuck up,
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
apparently we
And they
can't.
do.
And they do, and we don't deserve it.
Yeah.
Um,
And we fuck it up all over again.
all over again, and it's like, it's really that, like, we need to take care of them. They'll take care of us. Don't, please, for the love of God, don't spray fucking weed killer and shit in your yard and Roundup and whatnot like that. It damages the nervous system of earthworms, and also really, I mean, fucks with pollinators. It's just have some fucking weeds. Let the dandelions grow. Leave it alone. Like, just,
Who cares, dude?
yeah,
Who gives a shit?
like, leave it alone. Let it become an ecosystem. And all you're doing is killing your soil. So, like, yeah, you want fucking plants and rose bushes and shit. Well, guess what? The soil, you're killing the soil that they grow in the long run. So, like,
Well, you
just,
know what? It's like if you're that concerned with like the weeds, get out there and get really Hank Hill about it and like pick those weeds by hand,
go
man.
weed them.
Yeah.
I just, it is so, it's just classic, like, human solution. And so often they're short-sighted and not
Mm.
thought out, and it's like, I'm ready for the death of lawns. I'm ready for that to be over, for people to have kind of, little, use their yards
Gardens.
for gardens again and
Yeah.
shit like that. And, like victory gardens, like things like that again. And just like our
Moss yards.
oh, dude, and like moss is great. Like
Ugh.
it's excellent, and it has a great ability. Like it's really good for processing carbon and like CO2 and whatnot. Like, and I'm just ready for that. And like right now, and I'm so fucking jazzed about it. Like our whole backyard right now is just weed. And for the
Mhm.
first time ever, this backyard has grass in it because we live in sand. And
Mhm.
so, like, for many years, like Papa tried to get like fucking St. Augustine and like all these
Mhm.
grasses. And it's like, it doesn't work. It's in the shade. And so then Hunter and me were just like, let's just like throw out fucking clover and whatnot and just see what happens. And like now we have just this green lush lawn of weeds and like dandelion and clover. And it's so good and it's gorgeous.
Mhm.
It's so beautiful. And it's
Yeah.
just like,
I
man,
don't
that's it.
know. I don't know where this idea. The concept of weeds has always perplexed me. I mean, I get the fact that you may not want it in your garden because it could take over, or it could bring bugs that you don't want. Like, I get that on a utilitarian stance, but I've never understood what distinguishes a bad weed or a bad flower. What makes that a weed from like another flower? Because sometimes weeds are so pretty.
Oh, they're gorgeous.
We've got
Yeah.
these little ones in the front yard, and they're just these tiny, teeny, teeny, tiny grain of rice size periwinkle little flowers.
We have those too.
Yeah,
They're
those, and they're
beautiful.
so pretty. And I was asked what it was, and somebody was like, "Oh, those are weeds." I'm like, "Who say?"
Says who?
Yeah.
And yeah, exactly. And I don't get it. Just
Mm,
let it be,
mm,
and let it do its thing. And it really is, it's pretty. It's gorgeous. And plus people have in the coven have been posting up all of these different really interesting uses for common weeds. Like when I saw one on Instagram, the benefits like you can use like medicinally for red clover. And I love red clover, the little fuzzy little like cute little red clovers, and those are all over the place here.
Those spiky heads.
Yeah, they're so cute and like they're growing in the backyard, and it's like use it. Like you can't use fucking Bermuda grass, and half of the people are allergic to, like people are, it's just like, just let it be. So I'm feeling that. I think it's just good. And I hope that worms kind of start getting the care that they deserve, and the symbiotic understanding, like, look, if we take care of you worms, you're going to take care of us. And it just needs to be that way,
Thank you, you worms.
Yeah. It kind of deviating away. What I think a lot of it is like when I think of like modern era, like Western civilization, it's just like how like they'll cut down an oak grove to plant Bradford pears. It's kind of the same thing as that. It's like, that's what we need to get away from, and I think Roundup and all that shit, like we're going to get sued by Roundup. Like they're like weed killers and shit. It's the same vein of problem, it's that instant solution of being like, well, this looks better, but let's not think about what this is doing,
And does it look better?
Yeah,
I mean, I think we've been conditioned.
It looks better to fucking boomers. Like, I'm just gonna come out and say it. Like,
it's like this. It's like it always makes me think of that scene in Little Shop of Horrors where he's like mowing that really meticulous, like astroturfy lawn.
Yeah,
that he has, and it's like, yeah, we've been brought up to think like that's the, and I hate to say it again, but like that Hank Hill yard that you want, and it's like so important to have this perfectly square, even. It's just it's very particular, but I've always liked a lush lawn. Now, I mean, I'm not saying everybody like go out and just like overgrow your house, where it looks abandoned.
Yeah. You can mow weeds.
Yeah.
Like we mowed our little weed yard. Yeah, it's great. Like, and it was all, and it's still like thick and fluffy because they have different there's different leaf textures all mixed throughout. So instead of it just being like straight blades, there's like curly leaves and straight leaves, and so you just have this neat texture, and I really like it. It's like a carpet.
I thought you said meat texture.
Those weeds that are like meaty
texture.
So those are worms. That's worms. Wow. Hopefully you can kind of draw on that energy. Maybe if you have a hard time connecting with the earth, see if maybe draw on them, because they are the earth.
Catch a ride on the back of a worm down to the core of the earth.
Yep, saddle up.
Yeah, that's metal. We should make a metal song. Dude, what if we just became like the hippie, like witch version of Deathclog?
Deal.
Okay, done.
It's the music that Laser and Rocco choose to make.
Oh God.
Yeah, man.
I can't think about it. All right. Well, I guess we should say next week. Tune in. We've got a spooky zode for you.
Coming.
For your butts.
The day before we leave to the beach, we're gonna wrap that dude up. We gotta wrap this guy up. We gotta wrap that dude up, and we gotta wrap up one more, and then we get to go to the beach.
Working hard so we earn that vacation.
Yeah, baby.
And who knows? We might do like a live from the beach. It might.
I kind of thought that would be fun. We'll see how, if it's got to be organic.
Yeah.
But if we're feeling it,
we could do it. We might. So I do love something. I know we can't do it because rules, but I've always wanted to do like a bonfire on the beach.
Yeah.
I've
never had one either, like a beach fire.
And then you always see it in like movies, particularly horror movies, but movies. And it's just so picturesque. It's at nighttime and you've got your stars and the ocean and everybody's there's like a boom box and everybody's sitting around the fire cooking their cans of hot ass review footage.
Oh, excellent job. Excellent job.
Was that better?
Was good. Yeah.
I feel like that
you got me all the way through it.
This one's called By Amateurs for Amateurs. You goddamn right. This is from Carrot 36. Carrot 36 says, OMG, where were you ladies when I was 17 years old and had no idea where I was going?
We didn't
Now
either.
that I have come full circle in my spiritual path, it's so nice to have all these topics to just scan and surf and find what serves me. 10 out of 10, highly recommend. Thank you, Carrot 36.
Thank you, Carrot 36.
Carrot 36. If you would like
I'm gonna get one. I have some nice chilled carrots in the fridge.
Dude, I love carrots. I love carrots.
Do you peel your carrots or do you eat them?
Here's the thing.
Regular?
This is probably horrible, and I'm gonna find out that this is like an eco killer of some kind. I get baby carrots.
See, here's the thing. My mom growing up just kind of treated baby carrots as a scam. And
well, I mean, they are, you know.
I mean, you get less carrot for more money.
I think that I think I probably would peel the carrot, but I would do it in a means to be lazy, because it's like I would rather peel the carrot by a few flicks of the wrist than like scrub the carrot.
Yeah. I like the skin. I leave the skin on. But I do eat around. So I eat carrots in a weird way. I eat them leaving the heart. So instead of eating them, like biting them straight through, if there's a heart inside. Yeah, exactly. And there's a heart inside of every carrot, and you can peel the outer layer of the carrot off of the inner layer. And then the heart gets left behind. So something like when I'm done eating a carrot, or like the outside, you have a slim like stick of the heart, and it's sweet. It's like very, very sweet, and I eat it last. And that's always how I eat carrots. I like work around like a corn cob, and it leaves the heart, and then I eat it last. I highly recommend it. Yeah, I recommend it.
All right,
dude. Activity.
Okay. Hey, look, I love any food you can break down into a project, like a cheese stick, you know?
I wonder if anyone else does that. I know Rustin and me did growing up, and I don't know who started that, but I wonder if anyone else eats their carrots that way.
Let us know over on the Coven. You can let us know that on our Facebook, where you can come eat carrots with us, but not the heart until last, over at Witch Amateur Hour. If you'd like to advertise with the Witch Bitch Amateur Hour, Macy, what do they do? What do you do?
You can send us a goddamn email at wbahpodcast@gmail.com. We still don't have that at wbahpodcast.com. It's still at gmail.com. Probably will be forever.
I think we have wbahpodcast at wbh.com. We'll look into that one day, but it's for now. We have an Insta Jim. Come watch Jim do nothing but eat only the hearts out of the carrots.
Oh, yeah, he would. He'd just suck them right out.
He would crawl inside the carrot, like tunnel. He would shrink down and like tunnel in, eat it out. At Witch Bitch Amateur Hour. Instagram. Twitter, at Bitch Hour. Patreon.com. Macy, tell them about all that extra content over on Patreon.
Fucking content over there. Content all day long. Not all day, but often. We have 2 blogs a month, one by me, one by Charlye, sometimes vlogs, depending. 2 spells a month, one by me, one by Charlye. Those are probably, I liked the video for that. That was a lot of fun to put together. Kind of videos on kind of the spell work and whatnot. We got those rocking and rolling. There's 2 bonus episodes a month. If you're 20 tier, 1. If you're 10 tier. And man, there's even more. I got to think of what all else. Oh, the 2 lives a month, 2 Facebook lives. Those are so much fun. We were hysterically laughing the last one. That was the giggliest live, I swear.
At one point, I think I was just thrashing my arms and just like,
it was
popping.
So funny. Don't or always go with the ducks. Is that what it was? Or?
Oh yeah, you need to roll with the ducks. We do our Mad Libs over there with you guys, where you guys can give us words and stuff on the lives.
Yeah. Not to mention Laser and Rocco. Laser and Rocco coming at you. Patrons, get ready for that. And also our Spooky Sode investigation, stuff like that goes over there. Just any content we can make along the way when we do shit, we're going to throw it on over there to you patrons.
Any little silly bullshit home video we make, we are throwing it to the patrons.
Because for some reason, y'all seem to get it.
Thank God, man. Thank God. The fact that anyone gets it is
astounding.
Astounding and undeserved.
I know. Because and I think we talked about it. Like we were thinking when we were filming Laser and Rocket, we were like, is this too much? And then it's like at the same time, I just know. I know they're gonna get it.
I know.
They're gonna get it.
Yeah. Except for like a handful of people probably will be like, I'm out.
Yeah.
And we don't blame you.
I don't blame you. I get it. I understand. There's a level only so much one can take.
Dude. All right. Well, wow. Listen, I'm not trying to hype us up. I'm not trying to toot our own horns off, but that's a lot of extra content.
It's a lot.
That's a lot of content. We're also we're in the works now that the year of 2020 is over and we are back to working and being inspired and it's the year wbah, says Macy.
It's the year wbah.
I think we might have some pretty cool like little merches coming out as well. So
yeah. We're getting it together. And then the beach, it was going to be a wonderful restore. We saw, that's what got us all through quarantine, was saying like, we'll just go to the beach, like when this is all over, we'll go to the beach. And I think that's kind of the last like linchpin for me on, because, I quit my job and I've been kind of enjoying this, and we've been working more, of course, but I have enjoyed like this month of offness for the first time in 3 years. I mean, and so I feel like after getting back from this vacation, I've kind of like set it in my mind. It's like, that's when the nose is fully back to the grindstone.
Yeah.
And it's time to start blowing the doors down.
Yeah. It's the same. Cause it's sort of like also at the same time, like a, like building kind of back up to where we were.
Yeah.
And
it's like going to wash off 2020.
Oh, we win at 2019.
Mm-hmm.
And now we're going to go back and we're going to bathe away the sins of 2020 into the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah. And it can just take them and feed them to the sharks. I don't care.
Yeah. And the sharks say they thrive on that. So everybody's fine.
They thrive on hate.
Yeah. Oh, I love a shark. All right. We'll catch you next time on the Witch Bitch Amateur Hour.
Yeah.
I was going to say something clever, but I realized I skipped the part where
you just said our name. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.